I'm Catherine Pack, Senior Fellow and Deputy Director of the Australia Chair here at CSIS, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Pacific Policy Pulse. I'm joined here today by Air Marshal Leon Phillips. He is Australia's Chief of Guided Weapons and Explosive Ordnance, otherwise known as GWEO. Thank you, Air Marshal, for joining us.
Catherine, thank you. It's lovely to be here at CSIS.
So what brings you to DC this week?
Certainly. So obviously our US-Australian alignment is crucial to us. And so the core reasons why I'm over here is to talk to various parts of the US DoD and to industry about how we might partner together to do more, certainly for the delivery of weapons to Australia, but then also importantly to look at co-production of weapons. I think one of the things we've learned from Ukraine is that we've got a challenged industry capacity to deliver weapons to the warfighters. A couple of years ago, our government wanted to uplift the level of domestic manufacturing of weapons we do in our country, in part due to increased sovereignty and self-reliance, but also as part of a way of contributing to the collective output and collective support for allied nations. So what we're doing over here is talking to policy folks about export control. We'll talk to the US Army about some of our co-production requirements. And then we have the ADAC, so the engagement we have between Australia and the US that leads into the 2+2 OSMIN dialogue later on this year. So looking forward to it.
So as you look ahead at the timeline and implementation of GWEO, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing?
I think one of the challenges that we face is that people just assume, providing and building weapons is quite straightforward. In many ways, our most complex weapons are not dissimilar to aircraft, right? Obviously without the landing gear. And so mobilising and establishing production capability often takes quite a bit of time. So we're trying to balance starting those steps, growing that industry, as well as looking to provision and buy weapons off the shelf. I think the other area that we're really looking to understand more from the US, it's really about their appetite to sort of streamline export and their partnership with other nations. I think for a long time, that sort of security protection posture of the US has served the country extremely well. I think that we now face a very different strategic environment where partnership with allies, more than just operations, but also industry collaboration is far more important. And I think there's still work to go to make sure we have a security and an ITAR systems that protects security and particularly America's interests, but also fosters America's interest in establishing production around the world. So again, that'll be a key drive for me this week.
Sounds like a lot to talk about this week. Well, on a slightly lighter note, what book are you reading these days?
At the moment, I'm reading Freedom's Forge by Arthur Herman. So a wonderful read. I'm about a third of the way into it, but I can only be impressed with how the US, in the lead up to their entry into the Second World War, pivoted and started harnessing and building up their supply base. Their extant base, but also recognising a lot of the tooling and a lot of the lead inputs into having a high-end manufacturing volume and capability. So an impressive read and obviously an extremely impressive industrial base that the US had at the time to leverage off.
Sounds like a really relevant read.
It is, for us it is, certainly.
Well, thank you, Air Marshal Phillips, for joining us on Pacific Policy Pulse.
Perfect, my pleasure.